Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. And a happy new year, even though it's not a happy start to the new year for a lot of people, especially in Louisiana, as we are getting reports about a mass attack with multiple casualties. And in this video, if you're watching this live, obviously the information will be updated. We'll keep you guys posted throughout the day. But as we speak now, this attack happened in New Orleans a few hours ago during the New Year's celebrations, and a number of people have lost their lives. We are gonna give you guys the facts and information. There's a lot of speculation on social media and even on the mainstream media, but we have the information for you guys for now. We're gonna give you guys the information and of course get your reaction live as well. First things first, this was the SUV that initially was used by the attacker to drive into the crowd. He then followed that by coming out of the car and shooting at people, including 2 police officers who have been injured. And there was also an homemade explosive device that has been found. The attacker has been eliminated by the authorities on the ground. We're going to give you guys some videos that we have from on the scene, and also the moment of the attack as well. These are graphic images. Some of them could be disturbing, obviously. And then, of course, we're going to give you guys the reaction from the mayor, the authorities, but also the FBI, because there's a lot of contradictions going around in terms of what to call this attack. Let's go to the first video. So it was the initial report was that it was just a truck, but obviously we then found out that this was a pre-planned attack. It was not really a spontaneous crazy person, for example, who just lost his mind or drunk or anything like this and used the truck. But actually it was beyond that, because of the weapons, because of the homemade explosive device as well. Obviously the authorities are still searching the area for any more devices or anything else that they could find to help with their investigation. It has already been a few hours, but we're not getting any information about the identity of the attacker himself. We know it's a male. We know he has been eliminated, and we are going to talk about the clash between the mayor and the FBI. One side would say terrorist attack, the other side would say not a terrorist. I mean, the FBI are always very cautious about these things, but normal people would just look at the situation and say, well, this was a person who pre-planned an attack and terrorized a number of people. At least 10 to 12 people have already been killed. As we speak, obviously the numbers might increase in the next few minutes and hours. So in terms of what normal people would see, they just see their lives being terrorized rather than the technical labeling of the attack. The next clip is it's only a few seconds, but it's a little bit disturbing. This is the moment, obviously the casualties, you can see them, but also the more gunfire as well. So that was the moment that the attacker was targeting also 2 police officers, as I said, who have been shot, and luckily the authorities managed to take him out. There was a eyewitness that said, "It was the most horrific thing I've ever seen. We saw a truck crashing through the barricades before seeing it run into a crowd and people flying as it hit them." There have been a number of others, a huge number of people who have also been injured. So it's not really just about those who have lost their lives. And a lot of them obviously are having critical injuries, and they are being treated. We're going to talk about where they have actually sent them. Some of the places that they have, the medical centers they've sent them, is the University Medical Center, Touro Hospital. We also have East Jefferson General Hospital, Oshner Medical Center, Jefferson Campus, but also Oshner Baptist campus. Apparently, there are one or two more medical centers that are being used now to send a number of other injured civilians, but we're going to obviously get more information on that and how they are doing. Let's go to the next clip we have from Louisiana, from New Orleans, from the moment of the attack. I think this is afterwards.
If it's possible, so we're stationed over here at Canal and Barone.
We do have a quick reaction also from Senator Bill Cassidy, who has said that it's so tragic. Give thanks for the police officers, the way they responded. Remember the wounded and the dead and their families. There has also, we now can confirm there's been a controlled explosion after the attack. The bomb squad have managed to carry out at least one controlled explosion over the last few minutes, and they are, as I said, still searching. They are now saying actually several devices have been found near the area of the attack, as the teams are working to assess their viability. So fortunately, none of the devices managed to go off. Imagine the level of damage it could have been done. Most of the, obviously, unfortunately, again, people who have lost their lives is because of the truck. The devices have not gone off. So this is becoming a little bit more of a complex attack, rather than, as I said, just a one-man band just deciding randomly last minute. It's not. It cannot be the excuse of mental illness as usual that they use. But obviously, we are here to give you guys the facts before the mainstream media. We also have the next video that I'm going to give you guys some more information about what the FBI are talking about. So let's. So now we have to talk about the clash between the two sides. Obviously, in this report, we are simply saying attack, New Orleans attack. But in terms of the labeling, the mayor came out and called it a terrorist attack. The FBI immediately came after her saying, we don't call it a terrorist attack. But that's just the FBI. Usually that's how the language works in terms of being cautious. But seems like obviously with the pre-planned devices and everything else, there definitely seems to be an agenda rather than just killing random people for no reason. Governor Jeff Landry as well of Louisiana has said a horrific act of violence took place on Bourbon Street earlier this morning. Please join Sharon and I in praying for all the victims and first responders on the scene. I urge all near the scene to avoid the area. So the actual center has now been closed of the area, the scene, but there are more events happening later tonight in the city. But again, the mayor and the police have said, please feel free to continue to enjoy the rest of the day and the evening as well. But it seems like the game that's going to happen later on, they're not going to cancel that as far as we know, but they're going to increase the security. So this is where it gets interesting, because the FBI, obviously, after discovering the improvised explosive devices, they came out and said this is not a terrorist attack, right? The mayor has not really come out to do another statement yet. Seems like somebody from the top said, just shut up for now, and we're going to take over. So they have obviously taken over. There is a video that's just come out now, which I'm going to show you. This is actually the police. This is the footage of the police in New Orleans performing CPR on the attacker. Again, we don't have, so far, if you're watching this live, any information on the identity but of the attacker. We know it's a man. Let's go to this video showing the police performing CPR to save the attack.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit.
So that was when he came out of the truck to obviously target the police. 2 police officers injured, and but obviously he was shot, and he's now dead. Obviously, so they tried to revive him, but didn't work. I believe we can say, I think the next in about 3 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes, we are going to get more information from the mayor and the chief police in New Orleans, again, in terms of another press conference. This is going to be at the headquarters in less than 3 hours, the next press conference, which will be held. I believe that the FBI will probably take over that press conference as well, because they are now fully in charge of the investigation. I think we have the video of the controlled explosion as well for you guys, which we can, I think, show on the screen. Yes. Okay, let's quickly go. I don't know if it's gonna we can hear the sound or something. Yeah, unfortunately, there was no sound, but that was the moment the controlled explosion was carried out by the bomb squad on the ground. There is a confirmation from the White House that President Biden has now been briefed on the news that obviously this man killed and injured dozens of individuals in New Orleans overnight, and the White House has been in touch with the mayor Cantrell and to offer his support, but obviously the FBI is now fully in charge. They have said that the president will continue to be briefed throughout the day. Not really sure what the point of that is, but it's just formality, I guess. Not that he can do anything. Biden is currently in Delaware, not Washington D.C., because there was a wedding, I think, last night, a family wedding in Delaware. All right, so let's quickly get some reaction before we get more information for you guys. There is a super chat, Miguel Cameron, thank you very much, saying it must be mental illness. Well, the FBI are so far indicating that is the case. I mean, they haven't really directly said it, but you know how it works. Andrew says it looks like a very similar playbook to what happened at Germany's Christmas market attack. Are they related? There is no correlation, in terms of confirmation of any relation between the two, but the similarity is obviously the car being used, but this one seems to be more complex, but was more pre-planned because of the several explosive devices around the area, and obviously he directly targeted the police officers in terms of with his gun. Not really sure what happened with the other devices, that none of the devices went off, so there's so many questions that have not been answered yet. Another comment says, yes, same pattern as Magdeburg, but ISIS flyer is saying drive over them with cars, lighten the suffering of Muslims worldwide, something like that. There's a question, have they named the suspect yet? Surprisingly, no. The reason I say surprising is because in recent times, we actually have seen, because of social media and somebody leaking from the police, usually within the first few minutes and hours, you actually get more information about the identity of the person, the suspect, very quickly. There have been sometimes where we don't really get any more information, like one of the people who tried to assassinate Trump. There wasn't really any information about that person properly, but we did get a lot more information about the Magdeburg attacker quickly. But that's when obviously you can see the face of the person obviously on social media, and somebody would recognize them, or somebody would leak early on from the authorities. So far, there has been no leak. And we haven't been able to see the face of the person, the suspect. We don't know if he's local. We don't know about his, in terms of race or culture or anything like that. Obviously, New Orleans is extremely diverse as well. It's also very liberal. BSR says, probably another one of those far-right guys from Saudi. Yeah, it's highly unlikely, is it? Yep. Although you never know. But the thing about the modern society in the West is that we sometimes focus way too much on one or two threats. For example, a lot of people always focus on Islam, this, or back in the 60s, 70s, everybody was waiting for a communist to do something. Like, the issue we now have is that because of multiculturalism, because of also lack of respect for authorities and rule of law, because of terrible political leadership, we basically don't have harmony, unity. We just don't have unity and harmony, right? Crime is just generally going up and division is happening more than before, which means, and it's been caused by all the things that I mentioned, but now all those things will also create a situation where other people will also start doing more crime. So just division and hatred just goes up, and it could just be anybody from anywhere. I mean, I'm just randomly going to say it could be someone from, I don't know, Indonesia or South Korea, just going crazy. Because we don't have unity, because we don't really have a common culture anymore, in most parts of the West, not everywhere, most parts of the West, nobody has respect for humanity, for our values, and for the rule of law. So it's just like a domino effect or a snowball, essentially. Now, can get some more information as well. Dave says multiculturalism is a scam. I agree. Viking dude says blaming mental health again. FFS. I'm surprised that they haven't used Tourette's disorder as an excuse yet. So they haven't actually directly blamed it on mental illness yet. The authorities themselves, obviously, there's a lot of mentions by the media, but there's no indication from the actual authorities to confirm what it is. Obviously, as I said, in about 2 hours and 45 minutes, we're going to get the next press conference. I think they might give us some more information about the attackers, and then we'll come back and give you guys the details. Super chat from Donna saying, too tolerant, spam and click the like. Click the like. Wait, is someone spamming? I can't see right now, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Now, David says, might go back to the first picture of the truck and look at the jacket wrapped around the black flag. Okay, let's do that. Yes, this is the truck, obviously, that was used. As you can see, the number plate, it does have Texas on it. So the car is technically from Texas. Doesn't mean anything in terms of the actual person being from Texas or not. And also, we're trying to get more information because I believe that the FBI might be getting ready to call it a terrorist attack. I think because the mayor of New Orleans prematurely saying terrorist attack, because I think she actually used common sense and said, well, all evidence points out the fact that there was definitely an agenda to this attack. If you pre-prepare a number of explosive devices and shoot at people and police officers and use the truck to go over them, it clearly is. Obviously, initially the FBI was like, no, shut up. But I think within the next couple of hours we'll find out. Where is the flag in the video of them doing CPR? Let's quickly go back to that video. I think that's the...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Yeah, you can't see. I think the flag as either. Let's just have a look at the picture again. Because, yeah, I think the flag, because obviously the car hit, although that's where the car was parked already. Well, parked. The car was stopped here. This is after the event. As you can see, the flag has now been put. I think they put the flag, no, the jacket. Sorry, the jacket, not flag, up afterwards. It's very confusing exactly what happened in terms of the timeline of the video of the CPR and that image that I showed you. The image seems to be obviously after the attack has been now been killed and CPR failed and everything else, clearly, because the police are now surrounding the car itself. So we now obviously, yeah, we do have the FBI saying, well, spokesperson saying this is an act of terrorism, but are they going to call it? I mean, if they're calling it that, then that's basically, yeah. So let's just see. The statement says, this morning an individual drove a car into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing a number of people and injuring dozens of others. The subject then engaged with local law enforcement and is now deceased. The FBI is the lead investigative agency, and we are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism. So we can now officially confirm that even the FBI now confirmed this is basically terrorism. As I said, that was basically just the usual FBI thing to just not call it terrorism within the first hour or so, but it seems like obviously based on every evidence that we can see, this was not a drunk person losing his mind last minute. So this is all the information on this. As I said, in about an hour and a half ish, there will be the next press conference at the headquarters, which will bring you guys back some more details. Obviously, if you want to stay in touch with everything, subscribe to the channel, and when you click on notification bell, click on all, because if you only click it once, it just shows personalized. Click on all, not personalized. You get hopefully notifications for all the videos. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.